So every ambient scribe on the market right now wants to live on your phone. And if you've ever tried to run a clinic day or a round at the hospital with your phone kind of locked in recording mode, you already know the problem with that. Your phone isn't just a scribe, it's how the OR reaches you, it's how your partner reaches you, it's how the floor reaches you. Tying it up for 8 hours is a real cost that nobody selling you an ambient scribe wants to talk about. So when I saw this wearable clip that you can just pin to your white coat and it just goes with you, I was genuinely interested. This is the Plaud NotePin. So I bought it and I used it for a normal clinic day and for rounds at the hospital to see how well it worked. So I'm gonna let you know about it, and let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. AJ Balaram, and on this channel we explore the way that technology is changing the way physicians practice medicine. So quick disclosure first, I paid for this device, about $139, and they do offer a healthcare professional discount, which I always appreciate. This is not a sponsored video, and I was not asked to do this review. I'm doing it because I think the form factor is a genuinely different idea, and I'm always looking for ways for us to practice smarter, not harder.
Okay, a quick unboxing of the Plaud NotePin, the world's most wearable AI voice recorder. Apple type packaging, essentially. This is kind of interesting, works with Apple Find My, so in case you lose this small little pin, getting it found using your iPhone is really helpful. So there we go. There is the device itself, small device. It's about the size of a USB stick, I would say. It's quite light as well, too. There's a button on the front and a little LED light there. This little device appears to be the magnet to hold the pin together. So those go together like that. And then we have a little clip that you can use to attach the device and then have this clip associated with it. So you can pin it onto your white coat or something to that effect. And then you have this, which appears to be its charging block or charging station. That's the unboxing associated with this device. And let's see how it works.
So the pitch is simple. It's a pin. You clip it on and you walk into the room, you walk out, you go to the next room. No phone, no screen, no app to launch kind of mid-encounter. For those of us who spend the whole day moving, clinic, rounds, hallway consults, it's kind of an appealing idea. The question is, does it hold up? Well, partly. Let's get started with the part it genuinely nails. So the form factor is excellent. That's the headline of this whole section. It's small, it's light. I can clip it to my white coat or my dress shirt, whatever I'm seeing patients in that day. If I'm in scrubs, I can clip it on the inside. Most of the time, I kind of forget that it's even on me entirely. So you press the front to start and stop, and then you get a little haptic buzz confirming it. There's a red light that turns on while it's recording it. That said, the on-off state is harder to read than it should be. Unless you actually look down at the device, you're not always sure whether you're recording. The haptics are pretty good, but there's no real physical button on the front here. You kind of have to find the area where you're pressing on the pin to get that haptic feedback. I think I would probably like a more physical button on the front so that I know that I can turn it on and off. Because when you're seeing patients, you need to know if you're recording or not, because if you're not recording, it's a documentation gap. It's not a small issue. So they sell a few other ways to wear it. They have a lanyard or a necklace. I think that's a little bit strange to walk around the hospital in. The wristband, the form factor is actually nice, but I already wear an Apple Watch and I'm not looking to put more things on my wrist. The clip and the magnet are two really good options. Here's my one real kind of hardware worry. If I clip this onto my scrubs and then at the end of a long case or a long day, I peel off those scrubs and toss them into the receptacle, that pin is gone forever. Believe me, I've done exactly that with important notes. After a long day, you're not really thinking about something. This little small thing writing on top of your scrub top can just go right into the receptacle and then it's gone forever. So now to go on to the workflow, and you need to understand this before anything else I say makes sense. The pin records and it stores the audio locally. It has like 64 gigabytes on board, about enough for 20 hours of continuous recording. It will hold a full clinic day without even really breaking a sweat. But it isn't transcribing in real time. Nothing happens until you sync the device back with your phone. Then it uploads, transcribes, and builds the note. So you do not see a single word of what you captured until you're back at your phone. Hold on to that because it becomes the main concern that I have with this device, and I'll come back to it. So this is a recording device, so let's deal with the consent up front. You need consent from your patient and realistically anyone else that's in the room as well. Now, I've always done this. I've used ambient scribes on thousands of patients and taken consents just as many times. And the honest finding after all those encounters is patients don't really care. They understand that you have to document. What they actually notice is that you're talking to them instead of typing from behind a screen. So as we always talk about on SpeakMD is that we always have to be concerned about any legal gray areas. And Plaud documents a very strict privacy policy and states that they're HIPAA secure. And they do hold real certifications. The security stack is definitely legitimate. But certification is not the same thing as a business associate agreement. If a vendor is handling protected health information on your behalf, you need a signed BAA, not just a compliance page. So I reached out to their support line and asked directly whether I could sign one. The answer was yes, they would sign a BAA, but you have to be on a paid plan. In this situation, I was using the free plan with 300 free minutes, and so I was a little bit concerned about that. So what ends up happening is the free tier is kind of functionally useless to a clinician who needs a business associate agreement for their particular institution or practice. Credit where it's due, the support team was genuinely helpful and got back to me really fast. That's more than I could say for a lot of healthcare companies. I understand they're trying to get more people to paid plans. I just don't think HIPAA coverage is the right lever to do that with. So if you've watched this channel, you know about the Lisa test. Lisa was my former transcriptionist. She was a perfectionist, and early on she used to tell me, Dr. Balleram, you got to slow down on your notes. I want to get everything perfect. And of course, in a busy clinic, I never slowed down. So she adapted to me instead. She learned my language, she learned how I talked, she learned exactly how I like my notes built, and she became one of the best transcriptionists I've ever worked with. That's the bar. So the Lisa test is a rapid fire note at my real speed, packed with complex drug names, dosages, lab values, and patient identifiers. No slowing down for the machine. So the example of this is Margaret Ellison, date of birth March 14, 1952. So when I do this test, I'm watching for the traps. Levothyroxine in micrograms, not milligrams, that's a 1,000-fold error. Metoprolol succinate, not tartrate. Hydroxyzine, not hydralazine. Clonidine, not clonazepam. And then I have Celexa and Celebrex in the same sentence. The leading zero on digoxin, 0.125. So you can see that this is a really complex task that's difficult for any ambient scribe to handle. And I'll give it real credit here. It did an excellent job. It caught the complex drug names, it handled the numbers, and it produced a note I could actually use. So for a device that was not really built to be a medical scribe, that's a genuinely impressive result. The artificial intelligence supporting the device is good. Where it fell down was structure. It put the past medical history and the medication list above the subjective portion of the SOAP note. That's not where I want them. And I haven't been able to find a way to adjust the template the way I can on scribes that are actually built for clinicians. And that lack of customization is really important. You like your notes a specific way, I like my notes a specific way. If I have to restructure every note by hand, I've given back the time that this product was supposed to save me. Now, one of the issues that I think is the biggest one with this device, and it comes straight back to that syncing workflow. Think about how a clinic day actually goes. You go to see patient A, you step out, you go to see patient B, then you go back into patient A's room to finish up. You now have two separate recordings for patient A in two different places on the device. And you can't really see either one of them, not the file, not the labels, nothing, not until you go back to your phone and sync back to your phone to the device. There's no way to reopen patient A's recording and continue it. There's no patient name to tap. You're recording blind and sorting it out later. And that's when you have to ask the uncomfortable question. If I have to go back to my phone anyway to see what I documented and attach it to the right patient, why didn't I just use my phone in the first place, where I can tap the patient's name and know I'm in the right chart? So that's the real question this device has to answer, and right now I don't think it does. One of the things we always talk about on this channel is direct EMR integration, which is a problem with a lot of ambient scribes, not just this one. You're then copying and pasting into the chart at the end of the day, but it's a little bit even worse here because now I'm not just copying one clean note per patient. I'm hunting through multiple fragments, figuring out which one belongs to which patient, and basically assembling them by hand. That's double work, and double work is exactly what I bought this to avoid. So where does that leave us? I think this is an excellent little device. I love the form factor. I love that I can clip it on and go through a busy clinic day without thinking about it. And for a product that did not start life as an ambient medical scribe, it takes a genuinely good note. The AI is strong. But I do have these 4 concerns, and they're not small ones. 1, no EMR integration. That's double work every single day with copy and pasting, and it's made worse by the fragmentation problem. Number 2, the sync requirement. It'll capture a whole clinic day, but you can't see any of it until you're back at your phone, which undercuts the entire reason to use a wearable instead of the phone. Number 3, the business associate agreement sits behind a paid plan. They'll sign one, and their support was quick and helpful about it, but I can't safely test the product on the exact population it's marketed to without paying first. And number 4, and this one is underneath all the others, healthcare feels like an afterthought here. This was built for meetings. There are multiple form factors on their site aimed at all kinds of use cases, and the clinical angle is a layer on top. That's different from a company built from the ground up to serve physicians. And you feel that difference in the template rigidity and the patient switching problem. So if you want a wearable capture device and you're willing to do the assembly work on the back end, this is a well-made piece of hardware with a surprisingly good AI behind it. If you're looking for something to replace your ambient scribe in a busy clinic, not yet. If they can fix the patient segmentation and let me customize a template, then this becomes a very different conversation. So if you're running an ambient scribe in your practice right now, tell me in the comments which one you landed on, and more importantly, whether your institution actually signed off on it. So if this review was helpful for you, feel free to take a look at one of my other videos like this one about Doximity's AI assistant, or this one about how artificial intelligence may be de-skilling us or removing our skills as clinicians. Thank you so much for watching. I know your time is valuable. Have a great day.